God am I using? Pop quiz for you people.
Butterfly.
Butterfly. Any other suggestions of what God?
Seated butterfly.
That's been a while, but what God am I using?
What God? I wouldn't remember.
I'm not using any God. God am I using? So what was the difference? I'm in contact with my opponent. Here, I'm just sitting down, enjoying my day. There's no guard what to speak of. Alright? Even if I grip, I'm not using a guard. Guard has to be involved with your legs. So the way I like to teach guard to people who are new to the sport is to don't worry about the technicalities of close guard, butterfly guard, spider guard, delahiva guard. There's probably 25, 30 guards. By the time you're blue belt, you probably have trained at least a dozen different guard systems. Right? They all have their own quirks and possibilities. Think about guard as a zonal thing. So for me, guard is best thought of as 3 different zones. Your feet, shins stroke your knees, and then the hips. Each one is a layer of defense. So the first drill that we did is using our feet. So for example, Grant, let's just for the purposes of being slow and so you can see everything, Grant is going to shuffle from side to side, staying on his knees. I'm just using my feet to guard against the possibility that he could pass. The moment he's past my feet, I now have to involve my knees and my shins. Okay? So, and if he obviously puts pressure into me, I've just got a barrier here. My job now is to go back to the long range defense, which is my feet. Okay? Here. And you can use the soles of your feet as well. Here. We use this a lot to introduce certain control points. Okay? So I talked about the feet. The sort of mid-distance defense is the shins, stroke the knees. And the final area of defense are your hips. And believe it or not, the hips are a defense. A very crude example is if he passes the legs, I present my hips, and then I get my knees back in, and then I get my feet back in the hip. So the hips stroke my bum is basically a barrier. He hasn't passed guard yet until he goes past my hips. Now, my hips are there, he has passed my guard. So I want to make very clear the distinction of how you use your guard and what the guard is. The guard is a 3-part zonal system. And your job is to always go back to try the most effective, most distant point, which is your feet. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little game. You're going to sit here. You can either lie down or you can sit up. And you can put your hand here. You can put your foot anywhere you like on your opponent until he grips it. Either your ankle or most effectively at the toes. Okay, I did wash my feet, so it's perfectly clean. Right. So now what he does here, he potentially eliminates my ability to use not only just my foot, but my entire leg. So you just sweep that across here with a leg drag. What do I have left? I can't use my shin, so keep up with it. I can't use my shin, but I can use my other foot to go back to your long-range defensive mechanism, which is the feet. So same thing again, I'm just defending here. He's going to find a way to get past my leg. And you immediately use either your foot. If you can't use your foot, then you have to unfortunately use your knee and your shin, which is slightly less effective for this particular setup here. But nevertheless, once you have something in place, you have a barrier, and your job is to get back into position. Again, not using my hands. I want you really to think about the layers of your defense here. Hips, knees, and your feet. Okay, so he throws my legs to another place. Put my foot here. Trying to be... And also, at the same time, the same rules, I'm trying to get my feet in between here. See? It's very hard to throw my legs out of the way if he can't get my legs out from between his legs. He might try and maybe just push my knee down. Fine, hips involved, get back, and head ahead. A lot of things in there, especially if you're new to this. But if you just think of the simple concept of I want to get my feet back in place as a barrier in front of my opponent, I then have the chance of re-establishing my guard. I hope that makes sense. There's a lot of talking there, but it's really quite a simple drill. Again, gripping, trying to get rid of my legs, always put something in the way. See, something like that. So he never passes your guard, or he will, but he has to work at it. Does that make sense, guys? Everyone in there wrong. So I suggest you go with your partner. There may be an odd one out, so somebody will have to work in threes, and swap along your own time playing that little game. Yes? 3, 2, 1, let's... Right, have a look. When I'm in this position where I am using the zonal system, my first point of defense are my feet, either the soles or I'm hooking around, okay? But of course, being so far away from my body means it's very easy for him to, what would you just grip? Now I'm in a dilemma. I have to now spend energy getting rid of those grips and re-establishing my foot control, okay? And that's always going to happen, isn't it? The first thing that he can contact is probably around the ankles, or as we've discovered, gripping around the toes. And as soon as I start using my knees to defend, he can grip my knees. But whatever I use as a defensive barrier, he can use as a grip to try to neutralise it. So a very important aspect of guard play is obviously the use of your hands, which we had a little bit of that earlier today with our drills, but we won't use it in a constructive and efficient manner. So whilst Charlie can grip whatever he likes here, I too can also grip. And when you grip the sleeves, you are now in control. So now we're playing a game where you have the grips that you want, and Charlie has to pass the guard, but he doesn't have use of his hands, okay? And I have full use of my feet, and I'm still using just my feet to defend that zone. Now I'm using my shins, 1 foot, 1 shin. You can combine different sort of zonal systems with each different leg. Maybe don't go for sweeps right now, because with lots of bodies on the mat, people could be fine. Just use your legs as blocks. So most likely you'll be using the soles of your feet and discover different articulation points to press. Usually the hips are a good place, the shoulders, the biceps. Sometimes I use the wrist just for laughs. Okay, and the hook. You have lots of opportunities to kind of improvise. Alright? And but all the time you're consistent. You're using as much as you can, furthest point of your zonal defense system, and you have double sleeve grips, which really takes a lot out of your opponent's ability to pass. He's still trying to pass, right? Don't forget, one word of warning, don't be lazy with this. If you're gripping, but you still allow him to grip you back, what's the point of gripping then? Because now just pass. Yeah, you see, he's controlling me. So we want to avoid that. Okay? But that's basically the game. So same thing again, and switching your own time.
Is the standing allowed to break the grip or not?
Well, if you can break the grip. Yeah. Can you break the grip?
Can't try.
Possibly. You could spend a long time trying to break the grip. Basically, the concept here is really for the guard player to learn how to use both grips and the zonal system of your guard, rather than I don't care what he does. Really.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So far, I talked about the guard. I didn't even name what guards they were. They're just simply an avenue for you to get your feet back in front of your opponent. Quite often, you'll hear me shout when you're sparring. And you get in your guard pass. How many times I said, get your feet in front of the person, right? I've said it all the time. What I mean is, you're going to be struggling, and he's got somehow found a way, and I need to get my feet in front of him. Now, it's very hard to do that here, but as you progress through the lessons, for example, side control escape, one of the first things you do is you'll try and get your knee, and then your foot, and then now you're starting to play guard. So sort of the best option for me is that if I have my feet here, in front of him, I have the best ability to defend myself under guard. I also, as you saw just briefly, the best ability to use leverage to sweep him and potentially attack for submissions like triangles. Okay. Let's look at something else. Now, bear in mind the zonal system. Everyone knows what this guard is called, isn't it? Closed guard, right? Now, the reason closed guard is so awesome is because he has to fight the zone system twice. At the moment, Amir has to get past my... Can you see, guys? Maybe move around so you can see. Unless you like the back of Amir's data, which is very nice. Okay. So at the moment, for Amir to get chest to chest, side position or mount or whatever, he has to get past my hips. But how does he get past my hips? He has to exit my closed guard. So what Amir has to do is, if you just walk back, get past my zone system, find a way to finalize, and then get past my zone system again. So he has to fight the guard twice. That's why closed guard is so awesome. So the next job for you to do You don't want that to happen, obviously. This is just keep close guard. You've got your hands behind your head. I love this drill so much. This is where you blue belts when you show off. Well, you should, right? Because your close guard will be awesome. Like you're on the beach, and all he has to do is get out. You can stand up, he can push the knees, he can push my hips or anything. And look what I'm doing. Do you see what Amir did? He angled his body quite correctly in order to give him the best chance to escape. Just squaring up again. Always, it's the same principle as with my feet. I'm just trying to square up to my opponent. Now, can you see at the moment his knee is underneath my coccyx, which is again very good for him. Pop it back in again. And at some point you'll find that if you go pop open, and then his job is done, then you turn over, swap over when. If you can't pass, then don't hog it, just say, no, I can't do it, can I swap over? Alright, so I'll let you swap in your own time. But obviously if you successfully pass, break open the closed guard, then it's your turn on the bottom. Very simple drill, but...
You said you can stand up as well?
Yeah, you can stand up. Yeah. But, watch this. Stand up. Stand up.
It's happening. It's happening.
Zone system. Okay. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So nice workout. Hopefully I established the principle there of close guard being fairly robust as a guard on its own with the legs for a number of reasons, because you have the ability. I'm going to borrow. Somebody will borrow you. So So when you begin close guard, you find that your ankles fatigue very easily because you're putting all the tension here. But the good close guard will use your entire leg. So you should be squeezing. Sometimes you might want to extend. Sometimes you might want to draw in. Sometimes you're twisting. Sometimes you are moving up or higher. Sometimes you're moving down lower. There's many sort of micro permutations of the close guard. I was just discussing with Roger Grace, who was his instructor. He's the expert of this. You don't see it. You just see him as static, but he's not static. So wherever Safio moves, I'm bringing him with me, or I'm going away from him. If he's trying to stand up on one leg, I'm already sweeping him because I'm using these micro. And you will gain all these sort of muscle memory type of techniques. You don't really need to be taught them. The more you use close guard, the more you use it. Alright, let's go back to the drill. Previous drill, we just used our legs. Alright, I want Safio to escape from my close guard and see what's the first thing he does. The first thing he did was what?
Lean forward.
Yeah, he leaned forward,
Grab it
but
down.
he shifted.
Put pressure on your hips.
No, that would be another task. Just try and stand up in my first guard. Okay, we go back down. What was the first thing that Safio did? Before shifting. Okay, he put his hand on me. So remember what I said about the previous guard system where I was using zone system? What's his way of eliminating my problem here? You put your hands on me and you get rid of my feet, you grip. And my solution to that was to grip back. And get rid of them, then I can start playing my guard. Same thing with close guard. His first thing is to put his hand on me, whether it's one hand or two hand, and do what he needs to do. Alright, so before he even does that, you have grips on his sleeves here, right? As soon as your partner moves, take them out. Now, unless you're really, really strong, like myself, or Dion, or many of my friends here, you're not going to be able to hold this for very long. So your job here is just to stop him using his hands for the purposes that he needs to. So, to think of another way to pass my guard, I'm just frustrating him. I'm using both my legs and my hands. And I haven't done it. This is the best way to use close guard. Frustrate the person, establish control. You have to establish control. And what's he going to do from here? He's going to think, oh, okay, the grips are causing me problems. You have to get rid of my grips. So get rid of my grips. Okay, now what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Wait, get back in. He has to put his hand on me to get out of my guard. So I just wait. And I haven't even talked about gripping collars and things. So another concept thing, gripping sleeves. Okay, this is the game we're going to play. You can start gripping sleeves, or you can wait for your opponent to move, and then you can start pulling and pushing. It doesn't have to come off my body. So try to stand up, just a little shove, and he's out of balance, and he has to start again. It's frustrating for you trying to get it because you don't know which way. So your game is you're going to and you're going to stop the person trying to get out of your closed guard. Some of the previous drills I saw, your opponent found it quite easy to get out of your closed guard. Eventually passed. With the gi grips, you should find it much harder. Okay? You got that. Yes. 3, 2, 1. So pretty easy drill that one, right? Once you had the gi grips, the sleeve grips, it was harder for the person. Or in theory, you should find it harder for them to break open that closed guard, right? So let's combine the two things I've already tried. Now, one common thing you'll find if you just rely on closed guarding and the sleeve grips is that he will find a way eventually to put you in a position so you just stand up. Best will in the world. I'm now in a very bad position. Well, what's to stop you from going through drill number 1? I had the sleeve grips, I don't let them go, and now I'm using my long range defense, zone 3, yeah? And he has to now pass my guard. And I'm always trying to put feet in front. And how frustrating is that to try and pass somebody who has both sleeve grips and freedom to use their feet? And everything starts from, although we use two completely different guard systems, open guard and closed guard, I try to marry them with the same concept, sleeve grips and the zone system. So what you're going to do is, closed guard, sleeve grip, he's going to spend as much effort trying to get out of your closed guard, and at your choosing, you decide to open up. So he's going to try and open that closed guard. You know what? Don't feel too comfortable now, open up. But you are always putting one foot in front, trying to use your zone system. Okay? If this, again, thinking of your zone system, if your feet are no longer in action, okay, and he walks over, now you use your knees. Back to the feet. Okay? Sorry about this one. So he slides over my knees here, trying to use my knees here, okay? Completely goes past, kicking my bum in the place, and then back into close guard, it's up all over again. And that's how you use the guard. In 3 simple concepts. Something like that anyway. You want to try that, guys? Yes. Careful of your space, alright? 3 corners.